なんだこれ。なんなんだよ。マイン、なんでお前そんなこと。俺たち仲間じゃ。
At first, art imitates life. Then life will imitate art. Then life will find its very existence from the arts. Hi, my name is Saturn, and I'm here to talk to you about how Amber Heard stole her story from many instances in history and in media. There's a lot of inspiration here, but I just chose two examples to really focus in on what I think are the best examples of what Amber Heard did. The first example I'd like to go over is how art imitates life, in that the mine scene that we all love and hate is a imitation of the historical event of Joseph being accused by the Pharaoh's wife after he rejected her attempts at seducing him. Now, this is important in the context of our story because we need to see the first example of women using false accusations to destroy people's lives. Whether you believe in, biblical stuff or whatever, that's besides the point. It's that the story is so old that it made it into the Bible, the story of people being falsely accused. So even if you don't believe in biblical history, somebody somewhere had to do this to inspire the author to write this. Now let's look at an actual source, which is a movie about Joseph and this whole situation.
Is this your home?
Canaan.
Please, tell me more about Canaan.
This is the place where I was born. These are the sunflowers.
See how she's looking at him? How she's already putting on those eyes of seduction while he's trying to tell a very important story about his life, his family life, how he misses his family, and all of that. I will have to interrupt a few times here just so I don't get copyright striked. That would be pretty bad. We all know how much YouTubers hate that, and I indeed am one of them. Alright, back to the little show.
My mother planted. This is my
Family? You miss them, don't you?
my brothers. They betrayed me.
Joseph, we are your family now.
Huh?
Right there. He's telling her an important story about his life, how his brothers betrayed him, how they sold him into slavery, and she just ignores all of that. She's focused on getting that bag, getting that meat, shall we say. And when she does this, she's only trying to seduce him. She doesn't care about his story, he doesn't care. She doesn't care about his struggle, his sadness, his depression with all of this happening to him. And look at how confused he looks by this. He was just talking about his life and how he misses his home, but he resents his family. And then she's like, well, I'm your new family now. I mean, who wouldn't be confused by that?
We care for you here. I feel you are special.
What? No.
He realizes instantly what's going on. This is wrong. He doesn't want any part of this.
Why have you come here tonight?
To be with you.
No.
Still
This is
trying
not
to
possible.
seduce him.
No, I will not betray
I'm
my
talking
master.
to you.
No. Stop.
Wait! I
No.
order you to stay.
No.
And when it doesn't work, what does she do? She pulls an Amber.
You stood apart from the other slaves.
I'm going to skip forward here, but the important part is that she's crying, she's lying, and she is found out to be a liar in the end. This is the first example that I found of art imitating life. Now, let's move on to the next section of the video. Life eventually imitating art, as in Amber copying her story from multiple examples that she's either seen in media or seen in or that she's seen in her own life. It could be that she saw it on TV. I'm not saying that she watches anime. That's not what I'm saying at all. I'm saying that she probably got this idea from somewhere. This isn't an original idea. This has happened many times before. Now let's see how Amber and mine are like carbon copies, because I thought this was a really important thing to show off here. Amber, as well as mine, feel no remorse for what they've done. They're pretty proud of it. They show it off. They smile as they walk in. They're all happy. No signs of trauma, no signs of feeling guilty or shame. Actually, Amber is a worse actor than mine because she can't even produce a tear. At least I think mine managed to cry at least once. But mine is definitely more bold in showing off that she is mocking Naofumi, while Amber is trying really hard in court to not show that she is making fun of Johnny in all of this. Amber, with her accusation, she went to the court, showed off the big bruise on her face, turned her head to face the camera as the TMZ guy testified to, while mine planted a piece of lingerie in Naofumi's room while he was looking for her, or while he was out of his room. These people are just very similar, and it's kind of creepy because you can see it in court while she's writing notes. You can see her smirk sometimes. You can see her laugh to her lawyers. You can see her smile. She's not scared of a horrible abuser. She's not scared of possibly being hurt again. She's not scared of any of that. In fact, the only thing she's scared of is losing his money that she stole from him, and the money that she made off of this big fat lie. Let's take a look at that actually, because I want to show her just being unable to cry and then her lying in her deposition.
Basically, I didn't want him to find out online that I had or was about to file, or I had already filed for divorce. I wanted him to know verbally. So I was trying to reach him through a third party to tell him. When I say reach, I'm specifically saying I would like him to know information coming from me or coming from Jerry, from me, so that he finds out about the divorce filing or my intention to do so from some other source other than TMZ, which was alerted.
You slipped up there, didn't you, Miss Heard? You let it slip out that TMZ had been alerted to your filing of the domestic violence restraining order, didn't you?
I disagree. That's not what I'm talking about.
TMZ is the same outlet that you released the video of Mr. Depp attacking the kitchen cabinets the day before this deposition was taken, wasn't it?
I didn't do that. I don't
TMZ
know how
owns
to do
the
that.
copyright to that video now, doesn't it?
I have no idea what TMZ
Did they
owns.
pay you for that?
I never got paid for it because I had nothing to do with that.
So TMZ was just lucky in getting the inside scoop to your divorce from Mr. Depp, huh?
I have no idea. That's not my area of expertise. I wouldn't even know how to do that. And also, what does that get me? If I wanted to leak things about Johnny, I could have done that in a much more successful way, in a bigger way, for years.
Not when
years.
you were extorting him for $7 million.
I got a fraction of what I was entitled to in the state of California, by the way.
As we can see, she feels no remorse. She feels nothing for what she's done to Johnny. She's just all smiles and laughs. Well, laughing on the inside, unable to stop herself from smiling on the outside. What? Sorry, guys. I don't know. I'm so tired after this video. Let's move on to our next topic, which is the boys. Johnny and Naomi are very similar. They were both dogpiled on the minute that they were accused of this. Nobody believed them. It just took one accusation, and instantly people thought, oh, these guys are evil. For Naomi, it was his inability to gel with the team. They said, oh, I knew he was like that. His personality was like that the whole time. Sorry, I had to yawn there again. And for Johnny, it was his drug abuse. Oh, he does all these drugs. He must be a bad guy. He must be evil. Yada, yada, yada. We all know that. That whole song and dance, right? But one thing that I want to focus on is that it's really just shocking how all of their flaws, their struggles in life, how Naomi has hard time making friends, and how Johnny has issues with drug abuse because of childhood trauma and the struggle of being a celebrity and stalked by paparazzi all the time, is used against them maliciously. It's like you can't have any flaws as a man. You must be perfect at all times. And even if you're a gentleman, a quote unquote Southern gentleman, even if you're kind to this woman that you love, it doesn't matter because they can turn on you in an instant and use all of this kindness, these moments where you've opened up and shared your story, against you. For instance, Johnny said that Amber used his story of telling about Kate Moss against him, and that was just shocking because that was a really nice thing he did. He carried her all the way back up the stairs after she had fallen, and Kate testified to this. But instead of thinking, oh my gosh, he's a nice guy, Amber instantly thought, I'm going to use this against him. This is going to be awesome. And it's absolutely disgusting. I mean, what's wrong with her, you know? Yeah. And it's shocking every day just how many more lies she can pull out. How many things can she make up to further defame him? First it was he hit me. Then it was then it was the Australia incident where he beat her up. Then it was he shoved a broken glass bottle in me. And it's just more and more outrageous claims that keep happening and coming up. And nobody questions why her story changed all these times until now, until this case went viral. It's really just shocking, especially from my standpoint as a criminal justice major. If you're telling the truth, your story doesn't change. But if you're telling a lie, then it will change many, many, many times. So, Why did I do this? Why did I decide this is definitely something that I want to do? Well, I want you to look at one image while I explain this, because I think it perfectly portrays what I'm trying to say here. This picture. I learned about this trial about a year ago or a few months ago. By a few, I mean several. And it's probably one of the most infuriating things that I've ever had to sit through. I couldn't stand listening to Amber's like little song and dance. I actually turned off the stream when she was just on direct, because I couldn't stand her constant lying and saying how she's a victim. She's all this and that. And oh, now I'm perfectly better. I don't have any signs of PTSD, yada yada. And it's insulting, really. Because real victims will be seen just like this photo. They'll be seen like this every time they speak up. Of course, it's good for men that have been accused of something that they didn't do to be believed, but because of this picture right here, this is the only thing people will think every time somebody tries to stand up for themselves. And it's absolutely disgusting. I can think of nothing more vile than using victimhood as a strategy of ruining somebody else's life. It's absolutely sickening, and I want to leave off on a moment of silence. I just want to say that if anyone would have really think back to when Johnny was first accused, did anyone believe him? No. He was just like Joseph. He was put to death, but socially, economically so. And I just want everyone to remember that sometimes people lie, and it will be maliciously. And you have to look for the inconsistency in those lies, because this isn't going to be the last time that this happens to a well-loved celebrity, or it could even happen to somebody that you know personally. And when this happens, you need to listen carefully to both sides of the story and think hard. Who's telling the truth here? Who's actually the real victim in this situation? So that we don't have another Amber ever again.